Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from anthonymorganti.com, and this is episode 38 of Photo Critiques. And in Photo Critiques, people send me in some of their best work, and I critique each shot with suggestions on how they could improve it. And today I'm pleased to critique the work of Hans Kristin Thorbjørnsen. And Hans Kristin sent me in a number of images, so let's get started. Actually, before we get started, I just wanted to mention one thing. It wasn't a nasty email, just a questioning email, because I mentioned that the critiques take me around 3 weeks to get to. And I hit the I key on my computer to bring up information, and someone noticed the date. As you can see right here, on the date on this photograph is today. The reason why the dates are off is because I often resize the image so people could see them in the video, and I resized this image to 2500 by 1667. So because I resized it, it will change the date. So believe me when I say that I put everyone in line and I get to you right in order that I receive them, and Hans Kristin has been waiting a few weeks for me to get to his images. So that's just to explain the date, while the date might be off sometimes. Okay, finally, the first shot. This is a very difficult, it looks like a simple shot, but it's a very difficult scene to capture because we have some very dark areas and we have some very bright areas. And Hans Kristin did a fantastic job doing it. And I could show you that in the histogram here. If I hover over this left triangle, you'll see all that part in blue. That's everything that's ink black, no detail in it. And if I hover over the right triangle, you can see over to the right there, that part in red is completely white with no detail in it. So we really have extreme edges of the histogram, which is very difficult to capture properly, and Hans Kristin did a great job. What I have a suggestion is the composition. Whenever you're photographing anything that's moving through the scene, like in this instance it would be the car, it could be a bicycle, it could be a person walking, you want their direction of travel to have more room in it in front of them than behind them. Now this is the opposite. This car is moving left to right, and there's all this space over here. So to balance the shot properly, this car should have been over here when he snapped the shot. So the empty part of the shot is the way the car is going. It just is more comfortable to look at. The other thing is we have kind of a natural geometric pattern here of these two arcs in this column. And I would have liked Hans Kristin to move to his left a little bit and had it very symmetrical. So this arc and this arc were equal in the photograph, not off to the side. And then have the car come through and photograph it when the front of it maybe is over here, like right about here. So there's more room to the right. Anyways, that's just my suggestion on that, but it is a very, very nice exposure. And you'll find in Hans Kristin shots, they're perfect exposures all the way through. This shot here too, it's toned. It's got a kind of a sepia tone to it if you like that. He did an excellent job on it. I love the perspective. I love that he got down low and shot up and took advantage of the sky. That's what we as photographers have to do. We have to take advantage of the things that are there that are good and minimize the things that might take away from the picture. And in this case we have this natural row of trees, which is kind of a natural leading line, receding line, and it helps us lead our eye through the shot, and we resolve on the Ferris wheel. And then the other factor is the sky is really nice. It really, really is a nice shot. And minimize, well, you probably minimize these people over here. They're uninteresting. They're standing over here, but we really don't notice them because we're busy looking through the shot at the, as he naturally took the shot. So this is a very, very excellent shot. Now I like this shot too. This is called an environmental portrait, where you're taking a portrait of a person in their environment of what they're doing. And this guy is, he's a potterer, is that the correct way to say it? And he's, doing his thing, and he's got, the clay on his apron, and he's, doing his job. Very nicely done. I love the color. The only slight suggestion is a lot of times you know, you get this like kind of shadow in people's eyes. Now in this case the gentleman's looking down, so we're not really too concerned about seeing his pupils or anything like that. But you could get a brush in Lightroom and you could just have the exposure up just a little bit like that, and you could just kind of brighten up like around his eyes just a little bit. That might be even be a bit too much, but you get the idea. Just to brighten him up a little bit, and it gets rid of some of that the shadow under his eyebrow. This shot, very nice shot, very strong leading line with these the columns of the I don't know if those are grapes in there, but anyways, very nice. It would have been like a spectacular shot if the geography was was better, if the Earth would have cooperated and had this little valley right here, right where those leading lines are. But unfortunately it's off to the right. But Hans Kristin did a nice job of getting the bright spot almost lined up right there. So very nice job. A very dramatic sky. The color is excellent. Very nice shot. This shot here, probably the same area. Obviously the bridge and the mountains and the crops in the foreground. It's a little bit too busy, just a little bit too busy. Our eye is searching around and we have all these different textures to see. We have these colors and these posts and this, you know, kind of a lighter color here and then different colors up in here, and we're just kind of searching all around trying to find something to settle on. So it's just a little bit too busy. That's one where I always say work the scene, and maybe you could come up with a better you know, perspective or a better you know, feel to the shot. This is an excellent shot. Again, beautiful color. The water's very, you know, nice. The whole exposure, the mist, the smoke, very nicely done. The reflections. This too, very nicely done. Not much I could critique about it. You know, it maybe a tad on the dark side down here. Obviously, I mentioned many times I can't do much with the JPEGs, especially after I enlarge them to begin with, because they lose some resolution. But in this case, I don't know, it might work a little better if you just brought up the shadows a little bit and you brought out a little more detail in these posts. You see, I'm going to bring it back the way it was. See, that's the way it was. That could be the look Hans Kristin was going for, though. But it's just something to bring out a little more detail in these posts, mainly. Make it a little more, you know, something to look at a little more. I mean, this is a car. Again, Hans Kristin does excellent exposures. The color is very saturated. In that regard, very nice. But you know, it's a car. There's not, you know, a lot of interest once you see, you know, you've seen one Volkswagen Beetle. We've seen them all. So it's a nice shot, though. This too, you know, many times I talk about getting contrasting colors, and those are in a traditional color wheel. The colors are opposite each other. Now a yellow is opposite purple, so we don't have purple, but we have blue, but blue is very near purple. So, you know, just because they're not exactly opposite doesn't mean that the shot isn't going to work. So this is a great study on contrast colors. Even though it's not purple, as I mentioned, it still works, though. It's too bad this, whatever this is there. I don't know if he could have got a different angle and minimized this more, but that is kind of spoiling the picture. If Hans Kristin was so inclined, he might go to Photoshop and get rid of that, clone it out, and it would take a little work, but he could do it, and it would, I think, make a much stronger picture. This is my second favorite shot of his shots. What I love about his shots, besides the color and the perfect focus, is he gets down and he gets different angles and different perspectives. And this is, you know, this getting low like this, these are enormous engines, and getting low, it kind of helps convey how large they are, you know, how heavy they are, and the strength of them. So I really like getting the perspective getting low, and this is all part of working the scene. I'm sure Hans Kristin just didn't walk up and take one shot and this was his shot. you know, he probably took a few shots and then tried getting lower, getting higher, getting over to the side, and shooting it from the outside in and the inside out, and all that stuff I always talk about when he's working the scene. And this is just a spectacular shot. And we have the subtle leading lines, receding lines of the planks and the tracks themselves. It's just a great shot. This is my favorite shot. I just love this shot. The you know, the whole shot's interesting. We have these crossing lines here. We could go off in this direction with these leading lines, and we see these tanker cars over here. We could go this way, and we see this car here. It looks like maybe there's a ship there. I'm not really sure. This probably is that ship that was from an earlier shot. Very, very interesting. The sky is great. The mountains in the background, the trees on the side are very colorful. It's just an excellent shot. And again, he went to a very low perspective. Very well done. I think that's it. Yeah, I did. I saved the best till last. So I'd like to thank Hans Kristin Thorbjørnsen for sending me in some of his work. I really enjoyed critiquing it. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm running like 3 weeks at least on the critiques. And if you send them in, you send them to, and I get emails all the time where to send them. Send them to me. I don't care how you get them to me. I prefer you sent them to critiques@anthonymorganti.com. Actually, I'd actually prefer if you put them on a service like Dropbox or something and emailed me the link, and then I could download them. I like them fairly large so that they take up my screen in Lightroom here, so I could actually show the shots. That's why I enlarge a lot of them, because you can't send the attachments can't be very large in emails. You know, it just won't allow it. So again, thank you, Hans Kristin. I'd like to thank everyone who has subscribed to my YouTube channel and who visit my website. And if you haven't, I'd really appreciate it if you did go over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Go to my website, and I have a lot of like tons of videos now and tons of articles and on photography and processing. And I really do appreciate everyone visiting. That's it. I'll talk to you guys soon.